Hi guys, welcome back to Ibby's Bookshelf. I'm Ibby, and in today's video I'm going to be doing something that I have done before. It might sound a little similar. So a while ago, it was way back, towards the beginning of my channel, I did the newbie book tag thing. So booktubers, when they start go on Booktube, they will go onto the newbie tag and they'll answer those questions. So I was thinking, well, that was actually kind of fun, so why don't I do that again? So on my tablet, I have got the bookworm tag because I am a bookworm. I'll say that now, I'm a bookworm. Which I don't think is very surprising, but yeah. So I have got my 50 bookish questions. I will try to get through all of them and not drag it on to make this a forever video, but yeah. Okay. So number one was, what was the last book I read? The last book I read, I just finished reading a manga earlier today, but if you're talking about book, then it would be Court of Thorns and Roses, which I've already mentioned a few days ago, and then I was finishing reading my manga. So 2, was it a good one? Yes, it was a good one. Court of Thorns and Roses was extremely good, and I'm very happy that my friend recommended it to me. I did enjoy it. It's good. What made it good? The character. I absolutely loved the character, Fair. I think that's how you say her name. It's Fere. So Fair, I think she's the one who made the book. Well, she's the main character, but I think the book was good because it was her. Would I recommend it? I would definitely recommend it to girls my age. I don't think I'd recommend it to boys. I feel like it's a girls' book. I wouldn't really recommend it towards boys, but I would recommend it. Question 5. How often do I read? Every single day. If I don't read, I will have read something every day. I will have read one chapter of manga, or I will have read, at the bare minimum, 10 pages from a book. That's the bare minimum, but I do read every single day. Do I like to read? I don't really think I need to answer this question much. Yes, I absolutely love reading. I enjoy it a lot. If I didn't read, honestly, I don't know what I'd do, because I'm honestly not one to really watch. I prefer to read much more than watch. So if I didn't read, I have no idea what I would do. What was the last bad book I read? I don't really think I've ever read any bad books. Maybe books that I don't like reading, but I wouldn't say the book itself is bad. I feel like the last bad book I read, The Black Flamingo, I'm gonna answer with that because it's not a book that I particularly enjoyed reading. Sure, there are a lot of people who will read it and like it. And I did think the creative aspect of it was very nice, but me personally, I didn't really like that book all that much. But that's just me. What made me dislike it? I think it was the personality and the quirks of the main character. I think that's why I didn't really like it. But yeah. Question 9. Do I want to be a writer? Well, I do write some short stories. They don't usually tend to go over 10,000 words, but I do write some small pieces just for the fun of it. I've once had competitions with my friends, and we'd all write we wrote a story and we gave it to our English teacher, and our English teacher chose which one was she liked more. I won't say who won that, but yeah. Has any book influenced me greatly? How to Train Your Dragon, because that was the first book I actually read, like out of my own free will. It's the book that I read and I decided that, yeah, I like it. I'm going to carry on reading more books. It's the book that made me start reading. So How to Train Your Dragon is probably the book that influenced me the most when it comes to reading. Do I read fan fiction? Yes, I've read lots of fan fictions, a lot of spin-offs from Dark Diaries. They just come up on Wattpad. But yeah, I have read fan fiction. It's always interesting to see other people's perspective on a book. Like, if a book's already come out, how other people envision it. It's always interesting to read that sort of stuff. Do I write fan fiction? No, I have never written one down, but after I read a book, or if I'm in the middle of reading it and I don't get to finish it and I have to wait till the next day, I'll be up all night putting in my own characters, thinking of what's going to happen next, making my own spin-off of the book. I have never written fan fiction, never put it anywhere, but I've thought of it. Yeah, that's my answer for that. What is my favourite book? How to Train Your Dragon is like the answer I would go with, but I'm going to try put a bit of variation into this. So after How to Train Your Dragon, favourite book. I'm not going to say a series because that just goes on forever. I'd say Girl Boy C. I absolutely loved that book, as I said again. It was very moving. So that's my favourite book. What's my least favourite book? There's this book. I read it a lot when I was I read it a lot when I was like younger, but now I kind of feel like it's childish. It's called the Rights. So it's basically a club made from like these little kids who go around and put big problems, like big adult like problems, correct. They correct all this stuff. So I think that is my least favourite book, because I just feel like it's very childish now. The next question, so we're on question 15. Oh god, this is going to take forever. Physical books or ebooks? Physical books. I only read online if I have to, like if I really have to. Like all my manga, it's all online because I don't know where I can go to buy manga and I don't really like spending money either. So there's a manga and anime section in the library now. So I've recently got a lot of mangas from there. But when I have a manga that I really want to read, I have to go online and read it. But if I could, I would choose physical books over online any day. When did I learn to read? My ABCs I learned at the same time as everyone else, but I think this question's asking more, when did I start wanting to read, like wanting to read big books all by myself? Probably around 6 or 7, because that's when I first started reading How to Train Your Dragon. And that was the first book that I wanted to read by myself. So around 6 or 7 is when I started to read. What is my favourite book from school? The Hunger Games. We did the Hunger Games in year 8. I really enjoyed reading it. And out of my own free will, my own time, I read the entire series. Like, we were given the books on the day. I went home, I read the entire thing, and then over the next 4 days I read all the other books, and then I told my teacher this and he was quite surprised that I had already finished the entire series when we were still like working on the first chapter in class. So The Hunger Games is my favourite book that I was working on in school. What's my favourite book series? Again, I'm not going to say How to Train Your Dragon, though I would say that. I would say Harry Potter, because it's a very, it grasps you. Once you've read the first book, you can't leave be until you've carried on reading the entire series. I actually remember when I was younger, I didn't know like it was part of a series. I took Order of the Phoenix. It was a big book. I was very ambitious and I thought I'm going to read the entire thing. I didn't understand a word of it, but I actually did try to stick at it and read it. I got around halfway through the book until I gave up because I didn't understand a word of it. And then I got the entire series for my birthday. And then I read the entire series and I was like, oh, so this is what that book was talking about. I was clueless, but yeah. My favourite book series would be Harry Potter after How to Train Your Dragon. Who is my favourite character from a series? I think this is like a follow-on of the previous question. So my favourite character from Harry Potter is not Harry. Sorry, Harry, but you're not my favourite character. I'm a Hermione fan. I absolutely love the character Hermione. She's bookworm, she's smart, but she's also feisty. The way she punches Draco, loved it. So, yeah, Hermione is my favourite character. Who is my favourite author? Cressida Cowell. I'm not going to exclude How to Train Your Dragon from this one because my favourite author is Cressida Cowell. The way she writes it, How to Train Your Dragon, when you look at it, it sounds a little childish. But the way she writes it, it's very intriguing, and I don't think I would still read it now. I still do read it, and I'm 13 plus. So I do not think the way Cressida Cowell writes her stories is childish, and I really like her the way she writes the stories. So Cressida Cowell is my favorite author. So we're on question 21 now. What is my favorite genre? My favorite genre is fantasy. Like, no doubt about this one. Hands down, fantasy. I think most of the books I do read are fantasy, be it manga, be it like actual novels. Fantasy is the thing that dominates my bookshelf. I just find it much more interesting. It's out of the world, it's out of ordinary, it's not something you know regularly. It's more interesting and I feel more inclined to read it. After fantasy, it would be like mysteries, like murder mysteries, detective, and then royals and reincarnation. That would be like the order for me. And then last in the bottom 5, it would be adventure. So that's my genre preference. Has a book ever transported you somewhere? Yeah, absolutely. Every time I read a book, any book, I can always imagine myself standing there, assessing the situation, actually seeing what's happening. Sometimes I might be the main character, sometimes I'm a supporting character, sometimes I'm just like a ghost out, watching the entire situation play out. There has never been a time, I think, where I haven't been transported directly into that world that the author has created. I absolutely love it when I get that feeling as well. You're actually in the story and you can see everything that's happening. Which book do I wish had a sequel? This one is one that I've been wishing for a while. Allegra Goodman. This person has got to finish The Other Side of the Island. I got this book as a present from my cousin. The Other Side of the Island. I loved reading it and I keep on reading it. But this author has not given a sequel. So I'm very upset. I want to know what happens next, but I can't. I actually went online and onto websites to find out where the sequel is, try download it online, and I found out that the author has said that she's not going to finish it and she's going to leave it to the readers to imagine for themselves what's going to happen next. But that's not giving a straight answer, so I would really appreciate if a sequel came out for The Other Side of the Island. Which book do you wish didn't have a sequel? I don't know. I like it when all the books have sequels. like unless the story finishes in one book, I will read a series, and I don't think that there's ever been a time where I think, oh, it didn't need a sequel or something like that. Maybe Chronicles of Narnia. Maybe. Just cite us. I feel like The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, I like that book, and I would leave it there. I feel like that didn't really need a series. But, like, that's just me. How long does it take for me to read a book? It depends on how thick the book is. Like, Order of the Phoenix from Harry Potter, it took me 3 days to finish. And that was like, I had online school at that time as well, because I got the Harry Potter series for my birthday. And whilst I was in the dining room cutting the cake and getting my presents, I actually had an online class going on in the background. So whilst I was having my birthday, I also had to do online school. So if I ever got bored of class, I'd just read. Okay, so I stopped my thing there because I've decided I will do a part 2. I'm question 25. What I just answered was question 25. I do not want to drag this video on for too long, so I will be making a part 2 of this, and I will do that in another video. I don't think next week might be a book review. Part 2 might come out a bit later, but next week might be a book review, or I might do part 2 next week. I don't know yet, but yeah. So I'm gonna stop this video here. Bye guys, I'll see you next time. If anyone agrees with my answers or have a different answer, say so in the comment section, and because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Bye!